Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? The initial injury report for this week is out, and it is lengthy for the New Orleans Saints. All right, let's run through this. Again, it's lengthy, but I'll try to hit the high points. I'll tell you everything that's there, and we'll try to hit the high points. All right, here's the players. There were 5 players that did not practice on Wednesday. Juwan Johnson, Lonnie Johnson, Adam Prentice, JT Gray, Landon Young. So those are the 5 that did not practice. Juwan Johnson and Lonnie Johnson, who missed last week, of course. Prentice, who injured his knee. I mean, that's really an injury to insult after a rough performance last week. Holding call, which negated a pretty big run for Alvin Kamara. And you had the week before, the fumble at the goal line. But anyway, JT Gray did not practice with a hamstring designation. Then Landon Young with that hip injury that's kept him out. Ryan Ramczyk and Jimmy Graham were listed as limited, but again, that's the veteran days rest. Like, those two just haven't practiced at all on Wednesdays. They get their veteran days rest. Here's the players that were limited, and there are some interesting ones. Cam Jordan was limited with a back injury. Chris Olave on the injury report with a toe injury, and I know when we consider Saints receivers and their toes, Michael Thomas, all of us hold our breath a little bit, but again, at least he was out there and he was limited. James Hurst limited with what's designated a foot injury. Then, of course, Derek Carr listed with the right shoulder, but he was a full participant, as was Marcus May with his return from suspension designation. And Andrus Peat was a full participant who had been out with a concussion. So part of that concussion protocol, but Peat was a full participant. So it's a lengthy injury report. Of note, Cam Jordan, Chris Olave listed on the injury report, but limited. Andrus Peat, a full participant. Derek Carr, a full participant. That's the really good news. And we'll keep an eye on those guys that didn't participate to see if the Saints get any of them back this week. Juwan Johnson, Lonnie Johnson, Adam Prentice, JT Gray, and Landon Young. Of course, JT Gray is a special teams ace. The Lonnie Johnson, JT Gray interest there is lessened because of the return of Marcus May, which adds a starter back in that secondary where Jordan Howden had played really well over the past few weeks with Marcus May out due to suspension. Okay, and Howden, of course, missed one game, as we know, the Bucs game, with that finger injury when he had surgery on his finger, but was back this week and played well. Okay, similarly, the Texans have a very long injury report. And some of these are of great consequence for this week. 5 players did not practice also for Houston. Left tackle Laramie Tunsil, cornerback Shaquille Griffin, wide receiver Tank Dell, wide receiver Robert Woods, and defensive tackle Malik Collins. Now, Tank Dell and Robert Woods are really interesting because we've talked about this a little bit. The Texans don't have, while they're third in the NFL right now in passing offense, they lack a true standout number 1 receiver. Nico Collins is their leading receiver, but after that, it's Tank Dell and Robert Woods. And Dell is a rookie who's out with concussion now, and Woods was listed as a rest designation and also with a rib injury. So Woods, you would assume, would be good. Tank Dell with the concussion being in the protocol is the one certainly worth watching. Defensive tackle Malik Collins, cornerback Shaquille Griffin. Those are 2 guys that they count on defensively. And, of course, Laramie Tunsil, listed with the knee injuries, are starting left tackle. And with the way Carl Granderson has been playing, you had a rookie in C.J. Stroud with Carl Granderson coming off the edge and Laramie Tunsil's not there. Put a big star next to that. We'll watch it as the week goes along. The players that were limited, there were 4 players limited. Linebacker Blake Cashman, tackle George Fant, linebacker Christian Harris, of course, Baton Rouge kid, went to Alabama, and guard Shaq Mason. Those were the 4 that were limited. And then you had 5 players with designations that all participated fully, so no need to run through that. But there are some pretty significant things for both teams on the injury report. Of greatest consequence for the Saints, Olave and Cam Jordan, but both were limited and are trending toward being available this week. For the Texans, your 2 of your top 3 receivers and your starting left tackle not practicing on Wednesday are certainly ones that you have to keep an eye on that could impact this game tremendously, because the Texans' offense against the Saints' defense is strength on strength there. And if the Texans happen to be down their starting left tackle and 2 of their top 3 receivers, then yes, that becomes of really great consequence for this weekend with the Saints headed to Houston against a rookie quarterback who's playing far better than a rookie would. We've yet to see C.J. Stroud throw an interception through 5 weeks. But you take away 2 of his top 3 targets and his left tackle, and perhaps that narrative changes just a little bit. For whatever it's worth, Dennis Allen, when he met with reporters earlier this week, did kind of give an early look on the Houston Texans as the Saints look to pull their record back to 500.
I'm impressed with their football team. I know the type of team that they're going to be. I know that they're going to be. They're in the same mold of the San Francisco 49ers in terms of the way they, see their team being built. They're going to run the football. They're going to play action pass. They're going to be very physical on both sides of the ball. They're going to make you earn it from a defensive perspective, and they're going to fly around and be a good tackling team. And, when they get you into favorable situations, they're going to try to get after the passer.
For whatever it's worth, the Saints are a 1.5-point favorite from our friends over at DraftKings. If you're looking at ESPN analytics, they like the Saints by a smidge in this one as well. The ESPN analytics have the Saints with a 54.3% chance to win the game, 45.3% for the Houston Texans. So ever so slight, but the Saints are favored in this one. And if it comes down to a kick, you kind of have to like the Saints' opportunity to win it, which you probably saw as it was announced. The weekly superlatives and awards from the NFL were announced, and congrats to Blake Grupe, the Saints rookie kicker, who was named NFC Special Teams Player of the Week for his performance against the New England Patriots. Grupe hit both of his field goals, both from 50+, one from 53, one from 54. That was also the longest field goal made in Week 5, and it's the first time that a rookie kicker has made multiple field goals of 50 yards in the same game since 2021. So, really nice day for Blake Grupe. It's earned him NFC Special Teams Player of the Week honors. And Blake Grupe's been great. He's missed 1 kick through 5 games. He's made all his PATs, and he's missed 1 field goal. He's been great. It's just that the one he missed was the one that would have given the Saints the lead with 1:10 to go on the road at Lambeau when they were down 18-17, and he missed it. So you can make all the kicks you want, but the pressure kicks are the ones that are going to count the most and the ones that people are going to remember. And it's the old saying, 1,000 attaboys go down the drain with 1-0 bleep, 1-0 crap. And Blake Grupe's got plenty of attaboys, and they're deserved. He's had a fantastic start to this season, but the one he missed is the one that anybody's going to talk about when you first think about Blake Grupe right now to start this season. If I say, hey, what first comes to mind when you think about Blake Grupe, you're probably going to say missing the field goal against the Packers and getting stopped by security in the Dome in the preseason game. Not all of the makes. So fair or unfair, that's the reality. But congrats to Blake Grupe, NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. He'll get another opportunity for a game winner at some point this year. Just book it. It's going to happen. Maybe it'll be this week in Houston. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.